Hi, my name is Bo. I'm here at MOLOTOV Kitchen and Cocktails, where we specialize in Eastern European food. And today we're going to make you some crab and corn varenyky. Varenyky is the Ukrainian word for pierogies. Not super traditional Ukrainian, but we don't do traditional food. Pretty much put anything in a pierogi. It's just a dumpling. So we're going to work on our pierogi dough. A lot of people just do like water and flour. I do mine with dairy, so it's got milk, eggs, and butter in it. I think it makes for like a fluffier product, tastier. I mean, obviously it's got a lot more fat in it, so it's gonna be more delicious. That's the way it works. More fat, more delicious. So it's gonna be 1 quart of just AP all-purpose flour. Crack 2 eggs. When you crack your eggs, you wanna make sure you don't get any shells. So we're gonna crack them in here first before we dump it in with the flour. So I know that a lot of people like to work with like grams and make sure that it's absolutely right. But for me, I learned this from my grandma. So I do these things based on feel. Also, like flours are different, like different temperatures, like will change like how hydrated your flour can be. So for me, like I have a basis, but then I'll add more flour or more milk. I mean, obviously you guys are just figuring this out, but you got to make more pierogies. Milk. It's easier to do this all in a mixer, but I'm going to do it by hand just to show you, if you don't have a mixer, how easy it can be just to do with your hands. A little bit of salt, just like a couple pinches. That's all you need. We're going to do some brown butter for this particular dough, but you don't have to do brown butter, obviously. You just got to do some melted butter. So I'm doing brown butter in this particular one because we're making a corn and crab pierogi, kind of a southern flavor. So I thought brown butter would be fun for this. Just gives it almost like a little bit of a nutty flavor to the dough. It's not burnt. You got to get it right to that, like right to the edge there. Yeah, you always want to use melted butter when you throw it in there. You actually want the dough to be a little warm when you make it, because it'll make it like softer. Brown butter definitely has a note. You can see like the darker milk solids on the bottom. And then, yeah, see it's got that nice brown color and we're done. Pour the butter in. First I'm going to use a spatula and then I'm going to use my hands. With pierogi dough, you don't want to over knead it. You know, it's not like bread dough, so you want to keep it kind of pillowy soft. You just want to make sure everything's well incorporated. You don't want any clumps. You want to make sure that like you kind of get all that sticky stuff up. You can throw a little bit more flour on the bottom here if you'd like to kind of help pick up some of that stuff. So kind of once you get it the right way, kind of pull it out. We just want to, again, just kind of throw some flour down, make sure it's like well incorporated. See how it's like smooth surfaces, no sticky parts. That's what you're looking for. And then you can just wrap it up and you have to let it rest for about an hour. And again, unlike bread dough, which has yeast in it, you don't want to let it proof. You're just kind of letting it hydrate. So I'm just going to take a portion of the dough. Throw some flour down. You're going to want to kind of stretch it out till it's almost like you can see through it on the table. So you want to get maybe about an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. After you stretch it out, you know, pretty big, you're going to want to flip it because it's going to shrink on you. You can throw a little more flour down. If you get a hole, it's not a big deal. You can just cover it right up and then just roll right back over it. This is a very, very pliable, like super, super malleable, easy to fix dough. You can sort of see, it's like you can kind of see the table underneath it. That's kind of what you're looking for. Or you can see like flour here, you know, like that's underneath the table. That means that you've gotten the right thickness. I always flip it one last time in order to make it so it doesn't stretch or so it doesn't shrink on me. Ring molds are a really useful thing to have in your kitchen. You can also use a cookie cutter or a wine glass, but you want to make perfect little round molds. These are obviously different sizes, which is nice. That's the reason why you kind of getting a pack like this is easy to work with. I'm making this one a slightly larger pierogi, or in Ukrainian we call them varenyky, but they're synonymous. You know, you can do any size you want. I've even seen little ones, very cute. But yeah, so we're gonna go about 3 inches. The bigger they are, the more stuffing obviously you can put in them, and they're also easier to work with. So once you get here, you can pull off all this excess dough. Hold on to it because you can use this a second time. After the second time use, though, you want to just trash it because it'll be too tough. Once you add more flour to it every time, you're just going to be getting it. It'll be obviously the ratio will be off. Too much flour to the milk, and just kind of rolling it through. You're not going to have that pillowy, soft texture that I said that you're looking for. So now we got our pierogi rolls. So I'm going to show you a couple different methods for how you can pipe or get your filling in there. I think this is easier with some. This dough might be a little tough for this because it's got chunks. But if you have like a potato or sauerkraut, or I don't know, like a lot of them, it's easier just to kind of pipe them right into the thing. So we'll show you how to do that. So the filling we're working with today, crab and corn mascarpone. It's summertime, so we have great produce here in Colorado, including the Olathe corn. It's super sweet, a little starchy, so it actually helps keep it together. So this is crab corn, mascarpone, marjoram, chives, and dill inside of here. Not super traditionally Ukrainian, but we don't do traditional food. So yeah, you can kind of pipe it out like this. It's one method. Or, just take a spoon. You want to try and get it in the center. I'm definitely on expert mode with this filling. It's a little bit more than you would normally put in there if you're a novice, because it's going to be harder to work with. So other pierogi doughs, the traditional pierogies I'm sure everybody has tried is potato and cheese. So just like base mashed potatoes, lots and lots of butter. And they traditionally use farmer's cheese, but here, a lot of people do cheddar, whatever else. Sauerkraut is another very, very popular Ukrainian filling. It's braised sauerkraut, so they actually usually wash kind of a lot of the sourness out, add fresh cabbage to it, so it's not quite as much of a bite. Other popular Ukrainian ones are like blueberry and goat cheese. They do meat stuffed ones. So even though we're doing something non-traditional, it's not that weird to put whatever you want in here anyway. Pretty much put anything in a pierogi. It's just a dumpling. So just a little bit of water on the outside. And then you fold them like you would just any meat pie. Make sure that it's closed completely. That's it. I wonder if I made 1 million pierogies in my life. I wonder if I made 1 million pierogies in my life. I wonder if I made 1 million pierogies in my life. So on the sheet tray, I throw some flour down. They will stick together otherwise, or stick to whatever whatever surface you have. So I put some some parchment paper down first. It doesn't make a difference if you cook them fresh or frozen. I feel like I haven't noticed any difference in flavor. Maybe more discerning people have, but I haven't. I'll just pop these right in the freezer from here. But I can't because Chris's camera's in the way. I'm just kidding. I'm just being a kidster. All right, so I grabbed some of the pierogies out of the freezer. Just go direct into the boiling water. There's so traditionally with pierogies, the first day you eat them boiled, and then the leftovers is typically what you saute. So they're not traditionally like always like saute, or they're not traditionally like boiled and fried. Fried is normally like what you do with the leftovers the next day. Usually pierogies are saved for like Christmas or Easter or whatever. That's why you normally have leftovers. I cook it until they float, and then I give it like another maybe minute. These ones we are gonna pan fry. Move it around a little bit so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan. But we're just gonna sear it on one side. Throw a little corn in here. Salt them a little. Throw a little seasoning on them. This is our smoked corn broth that we made using the husks and the cobs. Again, we try not to have too much waste. So we smoke the husks, and then we once we kind of take the kernels off the cobs, we throw them in there in the broth with some mirepoix, lots of fennel. Cook it down. It's got a lot of flavor. So then we top that with a little bit of our basil smetana. Smetana is basically the word for like Ukrainian creme fraiche. That on there. And we finish it with a little bit of trout roe. Some dill oil. So this is it. I spelt it. You can edit this, right?